Good afternoon. I welcome you all for the UWMRF Express License Agreement launch. I am Smriti and I'm very excited to talk about our new Express License Agreement, what it entails, and how it can help accelerate and commercialize your ideas. Most of you might know who we are and the services we offer. For those who don't know us, we deal with inventions in a nutshell. We evaluate, protect, and license intellectual property arising from UWM. We help connect our researcher with external industry partners. We support our faculty and student startup through various programs, including Engage Mentor Program, Bridge Grant Program, Catalyst Grant Program, and to that, we are now adding the Express License Agreement. We also partner with Lubar Entrepreneurship Center for their amazing iCore program, Startup and Idea Challenges for students, and LEC also offers general information and guidance to inventor entrepreneurs. A little bit more about intellectual property. Intellectual property, when simply put, is a creation of mind. It can be anything from literature to artistic work to diagrams, symbols, and/or images, but should be used in commerce. Intellectual property is not always related to science and high-tech inventions only. There are four different types of intellectual property protection, and they are patents, trademarks, trade secrets, and copyrights. Each one can be used individually to protect your invention or sometimes in combinations. Our office primarily deals with patents and copyrights. We can also help our startup with trademarks by connecting them to our outside legal counsel for trademark registration when required. One intellectual property that we don't practice is trade secrets, because as a teaching organization or university, we are not allowed to keep our findings a secret. However, trade secrets constitute an important part of intellectual property in industry or businesses because trade secrets help protect the secret sauce that provides a competitive edge to the business in the market. Now you know what we do and the services we offer. How do you connect with us when you have an idea or an invention? By filing an invention disclosure. To get started, the first step is to request for an inventor portal via link provided here, or you can also find this on our website. I suggest you use your UWM email ID to get a straight pass. If you choose to use your personal email, one of us will come back and check with you to make sure you're connected with UWM in some fashion as a student, faculty, or staff, and then approve your request. Next, it's a four-step process. Firstly, you will disclose your invention or idea in the inventor portal. We have a small user-friendly questionnaire and you will need to answer as best as you can to provide all details such as date of conception, any grants used, public disclosure, related papers or publication known to the inventor, write-ups, or any other related details. Sometimes you might just have an idea or a design with a drawing, and that is okay too. Once you provide all information, we will go ahead and approve the disclosure. Second step is equity review. This is more of a compliance and a contractual obligation, and a burden is in our office. As an inventor, you have no role in this except we might reach out to you to double check on grant information if they exist. Our office sends out an equity review letter based on the funding source for the invention disclosure and their obligations. For example, if your invention was supported by federal funding, you might be entitled for different obligations versus UWM internal funding or no funding at all. To sum up, if you submit an invention disclosure, you will receive an equity letter. Third step is evaluation and disposition. This step is where we evaluate your invention based on all information provided in your disclosure. Typical process include meeting with inventor to understand the invention. Then we go back and do what we call a prior art search. This involves searching for any related papers, patents, or any kind of public disclosure, including website announcement, blogs, or posters that we think might be related to the invention or overlap with the idea disclosed. We make a report of all that along with a market overview in the field of use and the idea. This process takes up to 45 days from the date of disclosure and we send it to the inventor for the review. Sometimes we may have to revisit searches as the idea developed to pinpoint the novelty to protect it. And sometimes, unfortunately, we might end up finding a direct hit, and at that time we will let you know. The fourth step would be filing decision. There can be different motivations that drive our filing decision. For example, if you're thinking of a startup around the idea, yes, we will file a provisional patent application to protect it first and then license it to your startup to take off from the ground. Another could be external interest, although this is getting more difficult as industry look for mature ideas with the TRL levels 5 to 7 or higher to license. As academic inventions are typically early stage, in that case a spin-out or a startup is the way to go to develop the idea and then either license it out to big players or continue with a startup to commercialize a product. Third would be publication. We file on intellectual property to protect before the public disclosure, and that is publications. Although, however, I would like to stress that this is not always the case. We only file before a publication in special cases. Now you know how to disclose your invention or ideas to start a working relationship with us and how we can help evaluate and protect the idea. I would like to take this opportunity and discuss a little bit more about patent mechanics. By not going into too much details, but as an inventor, one must be aware of inventorship. What is inventorship and how it is different from authorship? If you are an academic inventor, faculty, or even a student, you are working with collaborators and wanting to publish papers together. In most cases, you would like to thank them or acknowledge them for their help or support, either in testing, analysis, or letting you use their lab instruments. These all contributions can be acknowledged as co-authors on a paper, but not as an inventor on a patent. While collaboration is a great way to progress your research, inventorship is a legal matter. An inventor is someone who has made an inventive contribution during the conception or reduction of practice of the idea, not just a pair of hands or a helper. In doubt, please discuss this beforehand to avoid any future landmines. There are cases reported where patent was declared invalid due to wrong inventors or inventorship. We don't want to be in that place, especially when you're looking to form a startup around the idea. Another important aspect of patent filing is public disclosure. Everything is timing when filing a patent or protecting your idea. A public disclosure can be anything from publication to presentation, conference proceeding, website announcement, or even blogging about the idea. All of these constitute to public disclosure, and if we don't take proper precautions, these can limit your ability to file patent and protect your idea. In the US, inventor can still file a patent within 12 months of public disclosure, but might end up losing foreign protection rights. This can be particularly detrimental if you are trying to protect a piece of intellectual property and that will be a part of product that has international market. Now we understand if you have an idea and want to vet it by discussing with few people to get their feedback or network since you want to form a startup. In that case, we suggest you sign a confidential agreement or a non-disclosure agreement. This can protect both parties. We do this all the time at our office and can help provide a template or guidance. This will provide a first line of protection to your idea and if you decide to file a patent in later time. Public disclosure and timing. Again, I would like to stress that timing is everything in filing a patent, and a public disclosure can affect your ability to file a patent and obtain foreign patent rights. For example, in US, if you have a public disclosure before protecting your idea, you may lose foreign protection rights and will have about 12 months to file a US utility patent. If you are at an early stage or an idea level, 12 months from public disclosure can be very little time to gather data to file a US utility patent. Instead, ideally, you will file a quick Public disclosure and timing. Again, I would like to stress that timing is everything in filing a patent, and a public disclosure can affect your ability to file a patent and obtain foreign patent rights. For example, in the US, if you have a public disclosure before protecting your idea, you may lose foreign protection rights and you will have 12 months to file a US utility patent. If you are at an early stage or an idea level, 12 months from a public disclosure can be very little time to gather data to file a US utility patent. Instead, ideally, you should protect your idea by filing a quick provisional patent application, and then we'll have 12 months if you choose to convert in US and file a US utility patent. Or if you also want to protect international rights, you can file what we call a PCT application. A PCT is Patent Corporation Treaty, which has 154 participating countries within the application. You get additional 18 months to pick and choose the country of your choice. This gives enough time to not only develop your ideas, and you'll also not lose any foreign protection rights. Now, we understand that at an idea level, there might not be enough material to even file a provisional patent. In that case, a confidential or a non-disclosure agreement is a first step, and a high-level public disclosure can be done before protecting your idea via provisional patent application. So coming to the star attraction of the talk, the express license agreement. What it is, what it entails, and how you can benefit from it. An express license agreement is a standard exclusive license agreement between the party and the UWMRF, and the party has the right to sublicense. It is applicable for patents and copyrighted works, has predetermined set of terms and conditions set forth by us, which are non-negotiable, and the agreement must be signed as is. The terms and conditions are startup friendly and are specifically designed to encourage startup founded by UWM faculty, staff, and students. And it is applicable for qualified technologies. Some of the key advantages of an express license agreement are: it offers expedite licensing process. There is no middleman. It's a direct transaction between the party and the UWMRF. Terms are easy, startup friendly, so very easily understood even by an inventor, unlike traditional license when you might need legal help to understand and negotiate on your behalf. However, you can still use a legal counsel of your choice to look at this agreement. Since the terms are startup friendly, we hope you can save some cost and time on legal advice. So that makes it cost effective, streamlined process that is consistent and fair to all startups. If you are a good negotiator or not so good negotiator, you will still get the same deal as your colleagues. There are no large upfront fees or milestone fees unlike traditional license agreement. Royalty rates are fixed and are different for both patents and copyrights, but are favorable. The rates are based on comparables with other schools and are almost gold standards for an express license agreement. Diligent obligation and milestones are limited to reasonable commercial efforts to help the startup take off from the ground. Express license agreement is not something new. It is a tried and tested method by various universities and research organizations. Here, I would like to share some snippets of success stories where other offices have reported accelerated deal flow. They started this to encourage their startup ecosystem, which is also our goal. We want our inventor entrepreneurs to feel good and hopefully one less burden through express license amongst various other roadblocks they may face during early stage of their startup. Since it is a non-negotiable deal, it offers transparency with inventors across the board. Many schools have reported accelerated deal flow with express style licensing method. Not only universities or schools, even federal labs across the country are rolling out express license models for patented inventions. Why? Because they want to increase the number of spin-outs that could help mature technology and bring the TURL level high enough to attract big players in the market. How do you utilize our express license agreement? A typical process includes step 1. You know when you have an idea, you can connect with us via Inventor portal by disclosing it to us via an invention disclosure. Step 2. We will help evaluate the idea within 45 days by doing some detective work and prior art searches. Based on the report and discussion, we will also help in making filing decision and file a provisional patent application on your behalf when required. I would like to stress here that not all inventions require patent protection. Sometimes it is better protected via copyright protection. In that case, we will suggest you add a copyright notice. Of course, these decisions will be based on the subject matter. Step 3, we will offer an option agreement. This is almost like a test period or a test ride that lasts for 12 months. During this time, we offer an exclusive option agreement. That means we don't market it outside during the option period. It has minimum upfront fee and limited milestone and obligations. As an optionee, you are entitled to pay patent expense, again based on when and what level of invention you are signing this agreement, or if you like foreign protection right based on your company's business model. Step 4 will be after you have successfully completed your option period, you land on express license agreement. It is an exclusive license agreement to your startup. Still a license agreement, so you will have diligent milestones that are startup friendly. License maintenance fee starts at the year 3. There will be a fixed royalty rate based on net sales for patents and copyrighted works. And we also offer a choice between exit fee and percent equity. Some of the key licensing terms are an exclusive option agreement that lasts for 12 months with provision to extend based on discussions, and UWMRF reserves the right on the final decision. A $500 upfront fee per founder at the option stage. So for example, if you have 2 co-founders, then it would be $1,000 in total. Past patent expense need to be paid but can be paid over time up to 36 months. Future patent expense need to be paid in real time. That is, for example, if you choose to obtain foreign protection rights or a US utility is due within the option period, as an optionee, you will be entitled to pay them when they're due. A $5,000 license maintenance fee starts at the year 3, or fixed royalty rates of 2% for patented invention and 10% for copyrighted and software work will be based on net sales. For example, if you have a fast developing technology like software, or which has the shorter time to market, and you start sales before year 3, you are entitled to only pay the royalties and not the maintenance fee. We also offer a choice between 1% exit fee or success fee and a 5% equity with anti-dilution up to $2 million in aggregate fundraising. This aggregate fundraising includes startup grants such as SBIR, STTR, or NSF GOLI and the likes, and will not include science grants like NSF and NIH. Continuing on the key license term, diligence and development milestones will be specific to your business plan and the market. However, you will need to show considerable fundraising efforts like submitting to STTR, SBIR grants, joining hands with external partner for NSF GOLI. You will be expected to participate in customer discovery programs like NSF iCore. We suggest you participate in iCore program during the option period as it can be an eye-opener. You will also be expected to create a viable team, which is very important for a successful startup. We understand this needs time and you cannot create a team in a fixed option period of 12 months, but to establish your credibility as a company and to show some skin in the game, we at least expect you to put together a scientific advisory board or a committee. Over time, you are also expected to form strategic partnership as well. Finally, UWMRF reserves the right to determine if the proposed technology qualifies for an express license agreement. What are the qualifications for an express license agreement? Firstly, the startup or the inventor needs to be connected to UWM in some fashion, either as a faculty, staff member, or a student. All IP rights must be assigned to UWMRF unless otherwise discussed and agreed upon. This is applicable when the idea or the invention for the startup is supported by UWM grants or federal grants. In that case, you're automatically entitled to work with us. In the case when the idea has no funding at all, we will ask you to assign the IP to UWMRF so that you can utilize the ELA program. Again, the express license agreement must be executed without any modification or negotiation, that is signed as is. Finally, some of the areas where express license agreement will not be applicable are pharmaceuticals, drug discovery, complex medical devices such as implants and related technologies, because they require longer development cycles, time to market, and have stringent regulatory rules, which warrants for a traditional license agreement and not the express license agreement. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, feel free to reach us anytime. Our contact information is also available on our website. Thank you.